Strangely, it popped into my head something William Shakespeare said in The Tempest. He said, there's probably a lot of performing artists here, because you guys are the true blue, and there's not as many people here as I hoped, but God love every single one of you who's here. And William Shakespeare said about performing artists in The Tempest, we are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little lives around it with a sleep. And I dare anyone here tonight to meet me in the parking lot and try to tell me Rich Richards had a little life after that fucking performance. Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have a whole lot to say other than I'm sure glad that Rich Richards was glad to have one encore performance here at Sardos. He taught me a lot of things. I would now put Rich and Orson Welles and William Shakespeare in the same category of people who taught me things about, I promised myself I'd keep it together, so I'm sorry guys, who taught me things about what life means and what maybe this artistic endeavor means. Orson Welles said, all our songs will be silenced, but what of it, go on singing. I'm so glad Rich got a chance to sing tonight, and Rich taught me something which was that art is never more important than the people you make it with. And I'll try to remember that. And in that spirit, there are many people who worked on the film you just saw who are here tonight, and I'd love for them to stand up and take a bow and maybe come take the mic and say a few words. Please, if you give them a big round of applause. Anyone who worked on Nowhere Fast who's here tonight, please stand up, come down. There's 2 microphones, and we're going to just do a brief Q&A, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, maybe whatever. I mean, I'm sure if anyone comes to this bar, oftentimes you've probably heard Rich Richards tell you just about everything there is to know about this movie. If there's anything else you want to know, please come down, answer some questions, take a mic, and take a bow, ladies and gentlemen, the cast and crew. The remaining cast and crew at Nowhere Fast, please come down. And Griffin, David Bartlett, Christy Prescott, Rolando Willette right there. David Sylvia, please come down. So many great people here tonight. Jeremy Evans here tonight, who I started making movies with when we were 8 years old. Maybe afterwards we'll show a Jungle Force, the stop-motion G.I. Joe movie. He and I both played it. I wasn't even there, Randy, anyway. That was beautiful. And I do apologize. At the end of the film, tonight the film wasn't able to play in its entirety due to some technical difficulties, but there will be a very nice memorial to Rich Richards that will play as the year goes on at film festivals. And just to quickly tidy up a last bit of business, there are some things we're attempting to go ahead and do the film festival run, and as we procure distribution for the film, there's a few things left undone, and please, if there's anything any of you want to do who haven't already done so much, Jeff Farrow, get down here, who made all those vocal sounds so great. Get your ass down here. He's so humble, he doesn't even realize he worked on the movie. Get your ass down here. Made everybody sound fantastic. There's some things that still remain undone, and that's Key Art, and that's the website. And if anyone here I'll hang out for about half an hour after this is all over, and if anyone else here happens to have any leads or any ideas about what we can do to improve the website or improve any of the Key Art materials, please.
What's the address of the website?
www.nowherefastfilm.com. And if you'd like to follow what's going on with festivals and all those sorts of things, please do become friends with Nowhere Fast on Facebook. I'm not quite sure how all that works. I check my Facebook about once every fiscal quarter. So if anyone knows how Facebook works or whatnot, please check the Nowhere. I don't even know what a fiscal quarter is, but that sounded good. Please check Nowhere Fast and become friends with Nowhere Fast and follow it. And certainly if the film plays at any festivals in the LA area, come out and support. And
we'll find out about that by going to your Facebook page?
By going to my Facebook page, we'll find out what happened to me 11 and a half months ago. But by going to the film's website...
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, by going to the film's Facebook page, Christine hopefully will take care of that, and the great Dan publicist back there might be able to help her out with how all that works. I just assume everyone who's in publicity knows how Facebook works. I don't. But, yeah, to cut a long story short, if anyone wants to help out with the website or any of that stuff, please carry on. And I'm just gonna pass the mic down to the people that worked on the film to just say a couple words, and if anyone has any questions that weren't already answered on a drunken tirade, whereupon it ended with Rich saying Ryan Williams is an evil prick. I love it.
I'm here for your laugh for you, brother.
You're my man. Please feel free to ask some questions. I'm going to just go ahead and pass the mic along now. Go ahead, Alon. How you doing, man?
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I want to say something. I don't know what to say, but I wanted to tell you something that I was calling Rich for about a week, and I hadn't heard from him. And I went over to go see him, and stumbled upon the whole thing. And but the reason I was going to see Rich that was calling him for that week was because our film there was a company, some cinema company or something that saw the movie, and they said, look, we want to tell you that right now this is not the right fit for us, but we can tell you this: we like the quirkiness of the movie, we love we love the storyline, the 80s.
Let me fill in one of the blanks quickly, Rolando, because that didn't make sense to people that don't speak Rolando. That was John Sloss, the preeminent film rep and distributor in the world. John Sloss, Christine Prescott, as a sales rep, she's very impressed. John Sloss took the time to email me and say, although due to the fact that we weren't currently programmed in one of the major film festivals in the world, he wasn't going to represent us. He did write 3 paragraphs about Rich Richards' performance and gushed about how fantastic he thought he was. So
I love that.
I will forward you that email, and sadly, that was one of the emails that Rich may or may not have gotten.
There was another one from another person on the day of his death.
That may have been John Sloss's email.
That was somebody.
That was John Sloss, yeah. John Sloss.
Okay.
I had the dubious credit of selling Hustle and Flow for $16 million, so not what you would call a small-time entity in the world of film sales.
It's
But
hard out there for a film.
it's hard out there for Pip and film, to be sure. And back to Rolando, if you need subtitles, I will try not to jump in anymore.
Thank you, Ryan. But that was basically it, and to tell him that, because they signaled him out, and they said we especially loved the reclusive lead singer. And of course, Rich would love that. But and that's about it. And then just so I can say, I said it that I was talking to Wendy, Rich's sister tonight, that basically the first sergeant that showed up said that he was a veteran cop for a long time. He was like in the 60s. He said that he had seen these situations before, and he said that he could tell. He said your friend did not suffer. He went very peacefully. I can tell you. He said, I'm not a corner, but that's in the corner.
Corner reiterated.
Thank you very much. Yes. So we love you, Rich. God bless you.
God bless.
My favorite memory of working with him was actually after we shot, and we were doing the music, because we worked backwards. We did the music after we shot the film, and I was in a recording studio with him just so that he had something to work off of. And when he sang that song, never in my life on stage or in film have I ever seen a performance like he gave. And he was 4 or 5 feet from me. And I was so blown away, and I let him know that night, and I said, you gave such a magnificent performance, and his reply was what his reply always was whenever he got a compliment. He just said, I want the world to see your work. And I think that sums up Rich Richards. He was one of the most giving men I've ever met, and even when he was at his best, he just worried about everyone else and wanted everyone else to succeed, and I really miss him.
Well, the thing I'd like to add to what I said before was that Rich and I started talking on a regular basis about things other than the movie, which was unusual. But we talked about other kinds of art, and especially theater. He's a big fan of theater, as I'm sure a lot of you know. I also come from the theater. Not like him, I don't speak Greek and Latin, which he did. But we also loved movies, especially old movies, so we started movie night. On Sundays, we would watch films, and then we would randomly pick a film from a collection that I have. And we watched Captain Blood, which is a film that made Errol Flynn and Olivia Havilland stars. 1931, I think. And he had never seen it. And we loved it. I loved it all over again, and we just had a great time even talking about Captain Blood. And I called him to see about seeing the film on Sunday, and that's when I talked to Rolando and found out he passed away. But it was great working with him. It was perfect knowing him for that amount of time, and he's missed. And that's about it.
By the way, David Sylvia, you don't get out of this one, motherfucker. Get down here. Get down here, David Sylvia. One of the other executive producers of Nowhere Fast. They didn't get a chance to properly introduce. Please. Honestly, without this man and Rich and me and a couple other people who essentially paid for the entire film, this would not be possible. And you know, Rich really put it all on the line for this, as you all know, and there's other people up here who put it all on the line for this too. And this man right here deserves to be recognized for that. And please say a few words, David.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you very much for coming down, everybody. I'm having a good joke like our director here, but
I don't think I have any either.
thanks for coming out. We hope you guys can come out to the festivals, because that's where we're heading. And it was a good film. I hope you all enjoyed it. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Christine, you're prettier than all of us, so we're going to like this more.
Now, I'd like to ask some of the people here, are there any sequences, any scenes that you really loved? Because it's important for you to share that with us so we know where we did it right. Please.
I was dying to know in the early going, as the gentleman to our left, lovely Rolando, was kind of taking advantage of the opportunity to talk to the stars. Was that like guerrilla shot and they weren't knowing it was going on, or was
No,
it?
it was a shot-by-shot replication of Citizen Kane that was done using motion control. All those, you ever see Forrest Gump? You know how they erased Lieutenant Dan's legs? No, I'm kidding. Of course it was real.
Good question, by the way.
Very good question.
Did they
Yes,
answer it?
no, very guerrilla style.
Was it? Awesome.
The shooting range, one shot might not mean much to human being, but it was hot.
Thank God for our
major
improv
balls, yeah.
comedy, or else it wouldn't be possible.
I was just nervous. I knew really we had to get in one shot. He was like, go, go, go. I was like, I'm not sure.
I was like, Rolando, you know the budget of this movie? We're paying for parking at the goddamn Hollywood and Vine. We've got to make this count, motherfucker. Let's do this.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I love that piece of dialogue, that riff on when Penelope asked Declan about how do you write a song? And he riffs on, well, Chuck Berry, 1, 4, 5, and 9 to 13, so you got to have tension, you got to have this, and you know, and a whole, he's riffed, and it was lovely, and it's actually accurate, and it was just, and it revealed something about that he wasn't just this freak walking around, you know what I mean, that it was a moment that revealed, and it was a lovely moment, and I love it.
That's why I stayed in it. Thanks to David, too, because I did not wire the mics properly, so that was all ADR, and Rich replicated that speech in post-production.
Wow.
That was not production audio, and Rich and David did that without me there.
Did he not come up with who came up, I thought that was...
Rich wrote that dialogue
He
as
wrote
well.
that dialogue about vomiting out, and, you know, stuffing your guts and your, you know, the lyrics for me. That sounded so like, yeah, thanks.
That was written by Rich and performed on the set by Rich, rehearsed and everything. One of the scenes in the film that was written and rehearsed and performed, not improv to some degree, as Brian told me.
Not one of the scenes, the scene.
The only,
Everything else is improv.
all the scenes that she and I had together on the phone were improv, and her side was done first, and then she was on the phone with me when I was in Beverly Hills doing the other side, secondhand, and he put together an editorial. So a lot of the film was made that way. Production quality, like he said, wasn't good enough to use in the film, so Rich wrote down what he had said and relearned it, and then re-recorded it exactly in the same rhythm and sync as it was in the original tape, which is very difficult to do for a seasoned actor.
Yeah.
Rich not being a seasoned film actor, it was nothing short of miraculous, and I had the honor of doing those recordings with him a few different times, so.
I had no idea.
That was
there.
pretty
And he
awesome.
had, because that came from his I know him enough to know that that came from his soul, so I had no idea that he needed to replicate it
And
again.
it's all real, too.
Because it's real, it was
Oh.
really accurate,
Yep.
and was birthed from something low and
Yep.
deep in him, and I had no idea he had to actually then reproduce it, so kudos.
It breaks my heart that we were filming that scene in Los Angeles, even though it's supposed to be Las Vegas. We were very near a busy road. That's why we had to ADR it. But God only knows if you could see the raw footage and appreciate how amazing his performance was delivering that speech. Sans the ADR.
Yeah.
I mean, with the ADR, it was incredible. Only him and Orson Welles can do ADR like that. I mean, he was talking a mile a minute. Anyone in here who's ever done ADR before can say, good luck with that one, you know? And he pulled it off, so.
I had no idea, Rob.
Does anyone have any questions for any of us up here?
Rolando's got a statement he'd like
I'm
to
sorry,
make.
one really quick thing in case, yeah, I think there was a misunderstanding. Rich did see this cut. We saw it. Yeah, Rich watched this and was very happy. Last time I got to speak to him, he's been happy for a long time, by the way, excited about this movie. But he did see it, yeah, we watched it with the big man, myself, and the big man's place. So this exact cut.
I like that David has lost 9,000 pounds since we filmed the movie, so no longer can he be called the big man.
This was the code from the film. that I
Now the only way it works is if you double breast it, David. Like, if you overlap it, yeah, you can probably cut a hole in your double breast up it. But, one thing that I do want to mention, and I don't know if I've already mentioned this, and I hope that if I have, please bear with me. There is a memoriam that plays at the end of the movie for Rich that was, only completed as of last night, and sadly there was just simply not enough time in the day to encode the DVD so you could see the in memoriam for Rich at the end of the movie, as well as Paulo Mattioli, who played the, drummer in the drum circle scene. Both passed away in the last few months, and there's a very nice sequence that plays now at the end of the ending credits for them. And if you come out and support, if you friend request Nowhere Fast on Facebook, however all that works, and if you get your phones out right now, take your phones out of your pocket right now and friend request Nowhere Fast Film, however that works, we will surely be able to let you know when we are playing at a film festival near you, and you can come out and see that in its entirety, and see the film with the sound mix, and hopefully hear it on speakers that are more forgiving of the noise floor, because these were not very forgiving. And Jeff Farrow, by the way, let's let him say a few words, who was very close to Rich, by the way, and this is a guy right here. Let's say something for a guy who's done Grammy-nominated stuff in the last year, and took a chance and threw it down on Nowhere Fast and really kicked ass on the vocals of Nowhere Fast. In a sincere way, I thank you very much. We haven't had much of a chance to talk, but thank you so much, and say a few words, sir.
Okay, I'm lame at this stuff. Rich was very dear to me, and this was more dear to him than anything, so therefore this was dear to me as well. Thanks for letting me help out, and I wish you all nothing but the best, and, you know, I see good things, so we miss you, Rich.
Wendy has a question for fuck everybody else. Wendy, what's going down?
There were lovely string orchestrations in there. Was that you, David, or who did that?
You know what? The string orchestrations were a combination of Megan Blaylock and Kevin Lax, and some of them were me, but mostly Kevin Lax, and he was not able to be here tonight because he was actually playing at another memorial of all goddamn things. He would have never missed it. But
Like, was it written, or was it stock, or, like, it was gorgeous, it was lovely?
maybe Ann Griffith can tell the story of how one of the songs was written on a piece of cardboard in the parking lot of the Santa Monica Pier, to give you an idea how prepared everything was.
That was actually very, very, very lovely, the string orchestrations and the music that supported dramatic moments.
I will pass that primarily on to Kevin Lax, but also the Approach Control songs, a number of them were arranged by this gentleman right here, along with the vocals, and he never really wanted to take any credit for that, but the ending credits song and the synth parts and a lot of the Approach Control songs were this gentleman right here, and Rich, just killing a six-pack and doing like they do. But maybe Ann can elaborate some on the process of the musical numbers, as they were so much fun for everyone involved.
I mean, I think you summed it up tonight. he wrote them on cardboard in the parking lot in Santa Monica, and then I was pushed out onto Santa Monica Pier, and he screamed, I can drop him edited how loud he is, he screamed, sing! And I was, and there were three of us doing it, and it was one of the most horrifying experiences I've ever had, but when I watch the film, I think, it's not worth it. Except for the time that the Las Vegas police came after us because they thought I was a child and I was being abused by my father.
Part of it was true.
Right, they thought an elderly couple had seen us, they saw me crying, the last song that I do, and they thought I was being abused. And they didn't even really get into the rights of Fremont Street, they just worried about my well-being, so I guess they're good customers.
The geisha story, can you make a little quick, I think.
About the what?
The geisha story.
The geisha story?
The security guards coming
I don't remember the geisha story. I might have been
I
drunk.
mean, dressed up as a geisha, the security guard came up with all the...
Okay, this is genuinely funny. Okay. We got 1 minute. We're gonna wrap it up. This is the last story we'll tell. We were filming with a fog machine in one of the hotel rooms there in Las Vegas, and
Without a permit.
without a permit, of course. God bless Rich. It was his hotel room, and we were using a fog machine. And I turned the fog machine on to warm it up, and then went back to do 50 million things. And apparently, while Rich was in the bathroom taking 2 hours to do that hairdo that only took about an hour and a half, he didn't notice that the entire hotel room had filled up with fog from the fog machine that was now triggered and firing fog into the hotel room. So about 5 million security guards and the entire staff of, I think it was the Riviera at that point, came up to the hotel room to inquire about the 5-alarm fire and the fire trucks that were showing up and everything. And Rich, dressed in full Dankman attire, showed up at the door. And there was just a camera sitting there, and then I showed up, and suffice it to say, those guys probably still tell the story about the very foggy gay porn they ended up. But thank you so much for coming out tonight. Please do support the film from here on out for Rich's sake. And who's got first dibs on Rebel Yell? Let's make this quick, good night, ladies and gentlemen. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming.